Hello, Mr. Watson.
Hello, Principal.
How's your day going?
Pretty good. How about you?
It's going pretty well, but it's been a long week.
That's for sure.
So I called you in here today in regards to some issues that have been brought to my attention by multiple parents of students in your class.
What kind of issues?
Many parents have told me that there is a huge disconnect between how students performed on work and projects in the classroom versus classroom assessments and district benchmarks.
I haven't noticed any problems with any of my students in the classroom.
Several parents have told me that when they approached you about their concerns, you claimed the students have severe test anxiety or that you were unable to cover the material on the benchmark that they missed.
That is correct. I did not have enough time to cover all the material before the test, and many of my students appear to be very nervous before taking the test.
That's no excuse. I have looked through some of your gradebook entries, assessment data, observation, and lesson plans, and they all indicate that your students are not performing well on assessments.
The students may not be performing well on paper. However, my students interact very well with the material in class. Their active participation in class and completion on all classwork and homework was indicated that they are understanding the material we cover.
We cannot solely base students' learning on their participation and completion of assignments. There is an obvious indication that you have made absolutely no effort to alter your lesson plans or adapt your instructional strategies for the benefit of your students' learning.
That is not true. I have altered my lesson plan as best as I could for my students, but they are still not grasping it.
I am not going to argue with you about this matter. It is evident that your students have not been performing well in their assessments for some time now. In addition, I have had a conversation with you earlier in the school year after analyzing your lesson plans, and there is still no change in your teaching styles.
I try to work with what I was given.
You have not made any attempts to recover or reteach the areas and subjects that your students have performed poorly on. When your students are struggling, you need to spend more time on particular subjects or topics that they are not understanding. Your students will never learn if you do not reinforce and reteach the areas that are missed by the majority of the class. The assessments are the best source of data to determine whether the material you have covered is clicking with your students or not.
If I go any slower of a pace, then they will never cover all the material we need to by the end of the school year.
You must follow the district guidelines and pay closer attention to the district pacing guide that is provided to you. It is obvious that your daily grades are inflated and not representative of the children's learning in your classroom.
I understand that. I'm working on that. The only reason that the grades are inflated is due to the fact that the students are performing so poorly on the test.
This is completely unacceptable in my school, and it is rather embarrassing that several parents have had to come to me with the same concerns now. I will not let this poor teaching in disregard to the county guidelines and assessments go on any longer. There needs to be a change immediately, and I expect to see test scores increase in your class by the end of the year.
I understand that, and I will try my best to improve.
If I do not see a change and improvement in test scores and changes to your lesson plans by the end of the school year, there will be repercussions. This is your last chance.
I will not let you down. Have a great rest of your day.